and we will be knowing about Rani Abbakka. And in our book, we all have to understand who she was and why she is so important that she is in our textbook. A natural question must appear in our mind, and I'm sure that most of you have had remembered and questioned as Rani Abbakka Chauta of Ullai, that is the name of the place. She was one of the earliest freedom fighters who successfully resisted European colonization for decades. There was a Chauta dynasty that has matrilineal inheritance with Alai Santana, and he is also known as Abhay Rani, the fearless queen. And when there were conflicts with Portuguese, the Portuguese wanted to control the lucrative spice trade from the port of Ullal, and they were demanding tribute. Abakka refused to bow down, and for over 40 years, this queen repelled multiple Portuguese attacks using guerrilla warfare and naval battles. What were the battles? In 1555, the Admiral Dom Alvaro da Silveira he attacked Ullal, and Abakka defeated him and forced a retreat. And it was later, after 13 years, in 1568, there was a great victory when Portuguese general Paxicoto captured Ullal, and then he was entering into her palace, and Albakka escaped. He got hidden in a mosque where he gathered 1,200 loyal soldiers and launched a surprise night attack. And it is the skill that all of us, all the girls of this time, need to learn. That's why these stories are in our chapters. And there, they killed 17 soldiers were captured, and the Portuguese were driven out of the Mangalore fort. And there they used fire arrows, Agnivana. Her soldiers used flaming arrows that were named as Agnivana against Portuguese ships and setting them on fire. There were religious harmony, like there were Jains in her administration, and the army was very inclusive, and there were Muslims, Hindus, including Mapilas. They all were fighting side by side against the colonial invaders who were the foreigners. And it was the time of 1570 when the queen formed an alliance with the Bijapur Sultan and the Zamorin of Calcutta to fight the Portuguese. And she was eventually betrayed by her estranged husband or bribed chieftains and got captured and died in the prison fighting till her last breath. And Veera Rani Abbakka Utsav is held annually in Ullal to honor the memory, as she was the Indian Coast Guard. Indian Coast Guard also named as a ship ICGS Rani Abbakka after his contribution. So when we go through this book, we have a very interesting thing. The cartoon where we have the king, we have the queen and her grandmother. We are saying the Hiriya Abakka, the queen of the Ullal, a small princely of the west coast of the Karnataka, was on her deathbed years ago, and Ullal had been captured by the Portuguese and had become a vessel, and they were required to pay a tribute to the colonial power, and her daughter and successor, Abakka Devi, was by her side. And what is the conversation is being here, and her Hiriya Abakka is saying that, alas, Alakka, Abakka, alai, here helpless, while the Portuguese, they were a fear of Portuguese. And then here we have the queen. Yes, mother, you must not tire yourself with such thoughts. I am here, and I will not rest till I have driven them out of the west coast. And the next day, Abakka Devi was crowned queen of Ullal. And she was saying that I need your wholehearted cooperation to make Ulal stronger, secure, and free. And there were all the soldiers saying, "We are with you, Your Majesty." Victory to Rani Abbakka Devi. And then after the coronation, Abbakka spoke to her husband, Veera Narasimha, who was the king of the Baghdad, about the future plans. And the queen is saying that I will stop paying tribute to the Portuguese and I will not sell them the spices and the cloth either. Because at the time, what was happening, they were Portuguese were interested in the spices, in the cloths that were being exported from our country to whole of the world at the time, and that was also being weaponized. And we see the husband of the queen is saying that isn't that a rather rash decision? I think he was saying that it is a very bad decision. And the king is thinking that, and a dangerous one for me. The Portuguese might think that the king is in the league with her and Bangadi, and too many have to face their wrath, and I must make her change her mind. And the queen is saying that you may be afraid of the Portuguese, but queen refused to be cowed by them. She was telling that she is not afraid at all, and the king was afraid. Look the irony. Now what happened? The Abakka walked away, and the king was stopping her, stop her, stop her. But Abakka oppressed a meeting of Rajas, and he said that if we unite and fight, we could drive the Portuguese out of our land. And all those Rajas were saying that it is impossible. We are too much for them. They are saying that they are no match of the Portuguese. Then the queen is thinking that she will have to fight the Portuguese alone her fight, and then she will handed if need be. And what happened? Then the next day, Portuguese envoy presented himself to the queen. And what is the thing? The Tar governors had sent you to remind that you had an annual tribute from Ulal is long overdue, and we'll see what the queen is saying that we are a sovereign country. We don't pay tribute to Portugal, and we don't take orders from the Portuguese. This was the loud and clear voice that we are a sovereign country. And then the Portuguese convoy is saying that Your Majesty, you will regret your stand. And then Abak ordered merchant ships to build an alliance with the Zamorin, that the traders were saying that visit us again, brother, and God willing we will. Then we have the scenery where mother, this is the beginning, and she's promising that uh, she will end all the things that were happening there. Then what happened? All of the ships were apprehended and they returned by the Portuguese navy, and they all flight bravery, and all the ships returned except the Abakkat's commander, and deeply angered the queen. And what was the conversation happening with the commander? The commander is in front of her and says that I will make them pay for this. The king is angry. King is saying that, well, sorry, queen. Queen is saying that she will make them pay back. And then the commander is saying that Your Majesty, our commander kept away busy while we escaped. This ship must have been captured by the enemy. And it was, I think, they were feeling very easy. They were not expecting that they would be able to escape. But so the Portuguese have replied, Mother, bless me. The time to avenge your defeat has come, because she was fighting for the motherland. And the Bakka in return unleashed her forces and attacked the Portuguese fort. And what happened? Required the Portuguese commander escaped with their life. And what is saying that I will get help from Goa, and we will yet have the last laugh. And all the soldiers were saying that victory to Abakka. And here we have the Portuguese. Ribeiro brought the news of the fall of the Fort Mangalore, and the Portuguese governor of the Goa reacted sharply that what a mere woman defeating the mighty Portuguese. You have made us the laughing stock of the local rulers, because the Queen Abakka was proving that the reaction was such a natural. And the talentless Abakar addressed her man, my brave soldiers, this shall be the decisive war. Let us fight with all our fight and defeat the Portuguese once and for all. And all those were saying their victory to the Rani Abbakka. And then what happens? We see in the scenery that there is a attack through the naval ships, And for 4 days, the battle raged, but the forces of the Ullal were enough, and the Portuguese beat a hasty retreat in defeat and never to tribute Ullal again. Mother, your dream has come true. Ullal is here. And then later Abakka helped Minakappa Nayak and the king of the Kalidi to make the fort of the Mangalore, and the Portuguese were eventually completely driven out of the Mangalore by Shivappa Nayak and the greatest of the king who helped rule there. So we talked about the story. She was such a brave queen, and have we all must know about her. And the question answer that will be very